Over the years, it's actually became more about injecting than lifting weights, you know?
The way I run my business, the way I go about marketing my business is completely different than anyone else.
And you know, what they were talking about is, you know, she's just marrying you for a green card. Like, don't you see that shit?
The doctor said, you are going to die. You are going to die.
Bodybuilding legend. Richard Eugene Piana's journey into the world of bodybuilding was nothing short of remarkable. Hailing from Glendale, California, he had a unique blend of Italian and Armenian heritage. His upbringing was marked by his mother's influence, who was a bodybuilder herself. In Sacramento, he watched in amazement as his mother dedicated herself to training for her own competitions. It didn't take long for Richard to catch the bodybuilding bug himself.
I remember being 6 years old and my mom taking me to Gold Sunrise.
100% positive my arms are going to break the 24-inch barrier. 100% positive.
I was too young to know anything about working out, and I remember that one day everyone was like, who's that guy?
Inspired by his mother's dedication and the guidance of an old-school bodybuilder named Bill Cambra, Richard embarked on his own bodybuilding journey at the remarkably young age of 15. His passion for the sport only intensified with time.
You could not even imagine the shit I've done to come to that scenario.
I can say that my arms have never been 24 inches, ever in my life.
There was no way in the world I wasn't going to be a bodybuilder after seeing all that.
I've had this habit of getting food to go for the last, 5 years.
By the time he reached his senior year of high school, he had moved in with his father in La Crescenta, California. There, he poured his heart and soul into training, nurturing dreams of becoming a professional bodybuilder. The rest, as they say, is history. Bodybuilder and a businessman. Richard Piana's fascination with bodybuilding ignited at a tender age, just 6 years old, as he watched his mother dedicate herself to training for bodybuilding competitions. By the time he hit 11, he was already lifting weights, and astonishingly, at the age of 15, he began competing in bodybuilding contests himself. In the year 1889, Piana achieved a significant milestone of winning the NPC Mr. Teen California competition. At a mere 18 years old, he made the decision to start using steroids, specifically a combination of testosterone and decadurabolin, which he humorously referred to as Test and Deca. This marked the beginning of a 25-year-long journey in bodybuilding, during which he clinched numerous NPC titles across various weight categories, including the Los Angeles Super Heavyweight Division, Sacramento Super Heavyweight Division, and Border States Classic Super Heavyweight Division, along with overall championships. Piana wasn't just a bodybuilder, he made a name for himself in the entertainment industry as well. You might have spotted him in cameo appearances in TV shows like Scrubs and Malcolm in the Middle. In 2017, he also featured prominently in the bodybuilding documentary titled Generation Iron 2. Despite his achievements, Piana was candid about the adverse effects of steroid use, which ranged from hair loss to gynecomastia and signs of liver toxicity. In a 2016 video on his YouTube channel, he strongly advised against steroid use, emphasizing that professional bodybuilders felt compelled to use them to compete at the highest levels.
You know, the negative is going to come back at you eventually, and it all equals out. Over the years, it's actually became more about injecting than lifting weights, you know? We don't be working in our 60s. We want to be well off, retired, and living a good life. If you go on a show that it's okay to take steroids, and you take steroids, that's not cheating.
In his later years, Piana stepped away from competitive bodybuilding to concentrate on his YouTube channel and business ventures, particularly his nutrition product line, Rich Piana 5% Nutrition. He used his platform to promote his brand and offer guidance on diet and fitness routines.
The way I run my business, the way I go about marketing my business is completely different than anyone else.
We're putting 3 scoops, right? So that was almost 3 complete scoops.
I do things completely out of the ordinary, completely think out of the box.
Each scoop is 20 grams of carbs. So I'm doing 2.5 scoops, so that's 50 grams of carbs.
Piana's online presence was impressive, with over 1.2 million followers on Instagram and hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, where he shared his life and experiences with his dedicated fan base. Personal life. Richard Eugene Piana's personal life was marked by its fair share of ups and downs, with a series of relationships that had their challenges. His first marriage came to an end in divorce due to an affair, a decision that left him burdened with guilt and shame. Following his divorce, he entered into a complicated on-again, off-again relationship with the American fitness model Chanel Jansen. Despite the numerous breakups, the two seemed to have an undeniable connection that kept pulling them back together. In 2015, Piana took the plunge into marriage once more, this time with Icelandic bodybuilder Sarah Hamey's daughter. However, their marital bliss was short-lived. By 2016, they had separated, and Piana made allegations against her, accusing her of using him to obtain a US green card and even stealing money from him. This painful episode left Piana feeling betrayed, having placed his trust in someone he believed in.
I'm about to get married in about an hour and a half and sealing the deal with the tattoo.
And you know what they were talking about is, you know, she's just marrying you for a green card. Like, don't you see that shit?
The marriage is for sure gonna work out, right, babe? Otherwise we wouldn't be doing this shit.
I just wanted to move on with my life. You know, I didn't want to talk about it.
Their marriage was eventually annulled, as it had occurred under false pretenses. Despite the roller coasters of his relationships, Piana maintained a devoted following of fans who admired his honesty and candidness. He was unafraid to share his struggles with addiction, including his battle with opiate addiction, which he faced at some point in his life.
A lot of older, adults are taking steroids just to, to bring up their natural hormones. I have used synthol. I used it, probably 12 years ago, and I didn't like it.
The most important thing at all is your mind, your mentality. That's the most important thing.
And all you're doing is destroying your body and causing damage, and you're not getting any benefits.
Throughout these trials, Chanel Jansen, his partner at the time of his passing, stood steadfastly by his side, offering unwavering support during his difficult moments. On Gen Z Gym, Rich Piana, he was the fitness guy, right? Well, he talked about how having low testosterone levels isn't great because it can make you feel lazy and make you tired all the time.
If you're taking steroids and you continue to take them, becomes a point where they no longer work.
I just want people to realize that it's not necessary. It's not mandatory.
When you have low testosterone, you're tired, you're lazy, you don't feel like doing anything, you have no sex drive. There's a lot of negatives.
Now here's the interesting part. Nowadays, you got these young kids hitting the gym, and some of them are turning to steroids, kinda like how people used to be all about protein powder back in the day. It's like they're trying to boost their testosterone and get those gains, but it's a topic that sparks a lot of debate, Passing of Rich Piana. The events surrounding the tragic passing of Rich Piana on August 7, 2017 in his Clearwater, Florida home remain a subject of deep intrigue and debate. At that time, he was getting a haircut from his girlfriend Chanel Jansen when he suddenly collapsed, hitting his head. Chanel promptly dialed 911 and followed the operator's instructions to administer CPR. Paramedics arrived roughly 10 minutes later and were able to restore his heartbeat, but the damage had already been done. Piana suffered brain damage due to oxygen deprivation. In the wake of this incident, there was a flurry of speculation in the media regarding the cause of Piana's collapse. Some speculated that it could be linked to recreational drug use or even foul play, while others pointed to his past struggles with opiate addiction. However, Chanel Jansen vehemently refuted these rumors. She clarified that Piana had only used a high-caffeine pre-workout supplement and hadn't engaged in recreational drug use.
He had convinced me that every girl he'd ever been with had had illegal silicone injection.
The doctor said, you are going to die. You are going to die.
People don't know, so I'm about to drop some bombs.
He says, you have got to get off the drugs you're taking.
Jansen also revealed that Piana had experienced shortness of breath and nausea in the days leading up to his collapse, symptoms that later proved to be warning signs of an impending cardiac arrest. After spending 2 weeks in a medically induced coma to reduce brain swelling, Piana passed away on August 25, 2017 at the age of 46. An autopsy report disclosed significant heart disease, noting that his heart and liver weighed more than double the average for an adult male. It was later revealed that Piana had been using steroids and hormones for an extended period, known to cause organ enlargement. However, Jansen insisted that Piana was unaware of the risks this posed for sudden cardiac arrest. The autopsy couldn't definitively determine the cause and manner of his demise, sparking conspiracy theories about a potential cover-up. One aspect that fueled these conspiracy theories was the discovery of crushed white powder, a straw, and a credit card on a table in Piana's home. Paramedics administered naloxone, a drug used to counteract potential opiate overdoses, leading some to speculate about a relapse into opiate addiction. However, Jansen adamantly denied this, stating that the powder was simply a high-caffeine pre-workout supplement. Moreover, the autopsy found no recent injuries, effectively ruling out physical trauma as a major factor in his demise. Despite Jansen's efforts to dispel rumors and speculation, the media continued to report on the incident, further fueling conspiracy theories.
You're almost guaranteed going to have to take some painkillers while you train because it's so painful.
Taking steroids for 25 years.
Once you start taking steroids, your testosterone levels, your testes shut down and they no longer work.
The handling of Piana specimens by the hospital also raised eyebrows as they were discarded despite requests to preserve them for analysis. This led to accusations of a cover-up and heightened doubts about the circumstances of Piana's passing. In the end, the exact cause and manner of Rich Piana's tragic demise remain elusive. The autopsy report offered some insights into underlying health conditions, but it couldn't definitively determine the cause. The discovery of the crushed powder and the handling of specimens by the hospital added to the mystery and conspiracy theories. Through it all, Chanel Jansen maintained that Piana was a dedicated athlete and fitness entrepreneur who didn't use recreational drugs, and she lamented the scrutiny and accusations that followed his untimely and mysterious demise. Regardless of the uncertainties, the world lost an icon that day who will forever be remembered in the fitness community. Well guys, that about does it for today's video. See you next time, and bye for now.